Hello and welcome to another purveyor of Lightroom quick tip. Today we're going to show you a quick and easy way to blur the background in a photo in Lightroom. And surprisingly, that's just the one thing that's not available. There is no blurring settings or features within Lightroom to blur the photo. And here I have a prime example of a photo taken, and I go, gee, I wish I had blurred the background just a little more, and the best way, of course, is to do that in camera. But the picture's taken, and this is what I have, and so I'm going to have to do it. Now the question is, do I really want to go into Photoshop and do this thing? I think I can get by in Lightroom with this, actually. So let's go ahead and try to do it together. All right. First thing I need to do is I need to isolate the subject from the background. And so I'm going to do that by selecting the new masks things, and I'm going to say subject. And that does that there. And a little sloppy over the head here, a little on the table flow. But we can work with that. So not bad, right? So we're going to select that mask, and then I'm going to subtract from the mask. So hitting subtract, and I am going to subtract the background. See, maybe that clears it up a little. And didn't do much, okay? So we're going to have to do this ourselves. So I'm going to hit subtract again. This time I'm going to use a brush. Okay, so now I have my brush, and I'm just going to carefully paint over this. Now, you don't have to be perfect, so, don't worry about being perfect on the mask. It's just to remove the obvious, okay, like a little bit on the table here. And again, this does not have to be perfect, all right? So I just come in and just do this here, all right. A little bit in here. And I did a little too much, so I'm going to hold the Alt key and just come back in and touch that where I went over. Okay, so I think that's pretty good enough because, again, I really want to work on the background, not the subject. So I'm going to come up to the mask, and you'll notice these three dots appear. I'm going to hit the three dots, and I have now an option to invert the mask. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, invert. And now we see we have the background and not the model all selected. So therefore, any adjustments we make will be on the background. All right, so that solves problem number one. Now we have what we want to adjust, but we also have another problem is Lightroom doesn't have any blurring capability. It's just not built into it. So we're going to have to work what we have in Lightroom. Now, Lightroom has a few things that could help us, okay? And they may not be evident right off the bat, but the first is sharpness, okay? Now remember, we're isolating our adjustments to the background, so I could reduce sharpness. That'll help us a little bit. But then also, I also have texture and clarity. Now using a combination of these two, I should be able to get a softening or a blurring effect of the background. So I'm going to try texture, and I'm going to go negative, okay? And as I pull it over here, sometimes you may have to pull it over to see what's going on. And, yeah, I'm just going to, you can see here I'm putting the mask on and off. It's very subtle. If you concentrate in the background areas or on the column here, you'll be able to see the effect more, okay? So that did a little bit. Helped a little bit, but I need a little more. So I'm going to use the clarity, and I'm going to take it to a negative clarity. And when you do this, you're going to start to see that clarity is now really affecting it. So if I take this off, look at that. You see? I've really taken a nice effect on the background. Almost a glowing effect with the background. And that's done a pretty nice job. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. So let's see here. The before and after. the before and the after. And there I was able to isolate the background and blur it slightly. So there we go. So that's it. A simple, easy way to blur the background within Lightroom and not having to make round trips into Photoshop and so forth. It's great for slight edits where you just wanted to increase the blur just slightly. All right. That'll do it, guys. Till next week, you guys take care.